So yeah, I pretty much taught the chords, those $1 million chords I've been kind of telling people that, I learned was right here on this Samick right here. Like,
Today we have with us Justin Henderson, Grammy Award winner and multi-platinum producer. He was just awarded the keys to the City of Federal Way and just completed an entire week called Henny Week. And so today we're really elated to have him in studio with us, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about his project. He was raised in Federal Way, but we here in Tacoma, we think we can claim him because he was an attendant at AME Church in Tacoma. So we want to own this gentleman today. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You seem to have gone from this little town of Tacoma stroke Federal Way, and you've done a lot in your couple of years that you've been around,
Right.
Including the BET Hip Hop Awards nomination 2009, Track of the Year,
Okay. Yeah.
2009, and I have to read all this because there are so many awards. 2011 Grammy nomination for Best R&B Performer, right?
Oh yeah.
And I could keep going, but you know more than I do. But we have to let everybody know that we have a person who has worked really hard and has achieved much. So what have I left out?
Well, I am originally from Federal Way. I was raised in Federal Way, Washington, right here in the city, and I definitely also attended church out here, right here in Tacoma, Allen AME, and matriculated all the way from, Decatur High School, went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, and after that I went to LA and started my music career, which has been my passion my entire life. And I set my dreams high and continue to walk towards those goals, and everything from the hits that I've done, from working with artists like Chris Brown to Lil Wayne to Drake to 50 Cent, a list of others, has led me to my first Grammy for Chris Brown's R&B album of the year this year, and it just took me to another level to let me know that it's about this time that I start to give back to the community that I was raised in and show the youth that the dream is so possible and it's real, Man, I ain't played in about 20 of them. 15 probably, man. Give it up. What's your name? Keisha. Say hello to the world. How long you been coming here to the Boys and Girls Club?
Like 2 months.
2 months? You like it?
Yeah.
What do you do here?
We play games.
Yeah? You get your homework done? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. That's a great thing. Well, you might see this on TV sometime, so don't be scared. It might go on TV.
You were presented with the keys to the City of Federal Way. How did that make you feel?
Oh, it's been an amazing feeling. I mean, I could tell you when I initially won the Grammy, it was that Grammy night, and we were out there in LA, and I had a few of my friends with me, some of which are part of my Henny team now. And we were sitting there at dinner, and then I was telling them, well, now that I won this Grammy, I might as well try to get the keys to the City of Federal Way. And I said it jokingly, but a colleague of mine, she said, well, I'll make the call, I'll see if it's possible, and let them know your story. And 3 weeks later, they heard of what I've done and who I am and where I was from, and they were very interested. And for over the past, I would say 70, 80 days, we've been going nonstop to not just come back to Seattle, not just to come back to Federal Way and just receive an award, but do something that would impact the youth. So that's where the whole Henny Week started. And I think over the past 9 days, we've done everything from talk to the students of every Federal Way High School to setting up talent showcases for them with great prizes for them to allow them to showcase their talents, to community service events with the Boys and Girls Club and the Boy Scouts of America, where I was an Eagle Scout as well, and talking to the church, and a list of other things that we've done to just show the community, one, that I was committed to coming back to the city, giving back, and then also making sure that it wasn't just about me.
Sounds like you've had a long, hard week.
It was a good one, though. It was a good one.
Okay. We talk about the keys to the city. I suppose you're doing what is expected, but when we get the keys to the city, what does it really mean?
I think, to me, it's kind of like when they say, for those who are I guess in a certain level, there's much responsibility that is handed to you, so that for me, it's more about taking my name, taking everything that I'm a part of and that I believe in, and just allowing to show that to the rest of the community and help others reach those types of goals. Being able to take my leadership and take the youth into a better light. Motivate them, allow them to be able to understand that anything in this world is possible. So
great, and so with that, it means that the Henny Week activities is just starting.
Yes.
We're only at the beginning of the Henny Week.
Yes.
So where do you see this going from here?
Well, when we started developing all the plans that we had for Henny Week, and my team and I, we came up with a lot of events that we wanted to do. We set the bar high. We were very ambitious, and there are a lot of things that we couldn't do this year. We had some sponsorships, but we wanted a lot more. We didn't have enough time to fully set up our scholarship fund like we wanted to. And then on top of that, more things started adding to the plate, and we realized that this is not something that we could just do in a year. And when we started out here about 9 days ago, we realized that this is something that we need to do every year, and really focus in on not only the high school students, but even the junior high, because I believe that that is the focal point of which students, especially the urban students in the community, can drift one way or the other. And I know that, I could tell about 7th, 8th grade is where you make that change where, are you going to go into a path that's going to lead you to college, that's going to lead you to a career, or you're going to or you're going to take another way where it might lead you into dropping out. And that's what we're trying to stop. So this is just the first annual week where we can come back and motivate kids. But next year, we definitely want to raise the bar, and we've already set a 5-year goal to be able to develop, plan, and create a complete Justin Henderson Performing Arts Center in the city of Federal Way. So yeah, we're setting the goals high.
That is a very high goal.
Bring it to the stage. Bring it to the stage. Come on, what's your name?
Alex and Chad.
Alex and what? Chad. Let's go. The duets. Again, Alex.
Days like this, I want to drive away. Pack my bags and watch you shout a face. You bring me up, you break me down. My heart
we are really honored and fortunate to have someone like you who has really worked hard, has achieved much, but have actually decided to come back and to give.
It's great.
And what's also remarkable is that a lot of your training in the beginning was not formal.
Right.
And it's remarkable because we have students right now who have raw talent, who are just trying things on their own, who are playing by ear,
Right.
who are taking advantage of the technology that's out there.
Right.
But they need to believe that it doesn't end there. It is possible
Definitely.
to continue. So you seem to be a really great example of that.
I believe that, a lot of students, a lot of kids out there, they have these raw talents, and the best thing for them is to display it in wherever they can, whether it be church or, in some facility in school, or even in, the Boys and Girls Clubs or the community outreach, the YMCAs, because they need their talents to be seen. Like when I was 15, 16, trying to write songs for my church choir, and it just so happened that one of the prominent organists in the city of Tacoma, my mentor Lewis Harris, he actually witnessed that day that me, watching me trying to write and produce songs then, and said, that young man has talent. Let me try to help, craft that so that he can go places. And he just said he was a vessel, that allowed him to teach me how to just own my skills, and then on top of that, just being able to have education beyond graduation of high school, because that right there allowed me to see that I could take my career, I could take the fact that I wanted to be in music, but also have a vision beyond just being a musician, being able to read my own contracts, being able to set up my own deals, and being able to look past, just your time frame of usually being in your career of 10 to 15 years in the music industry, and being able to matriculate to something like a business executive or things like that. All of those things is what had impact on me just going to college, and I always recommend any student, definitely going way past high school, because it's going to take that much more, and to be great, you need that foundation. So, for me, it's about taking your raw skill and then owning it with education, and then also, getting it out there to the community so others can help. If you knew that you knew what you wanted to do for the rest of your life, and you could not be able to start achieving that until 15 years later, would you still keep your hand up? 15 years from now, you still struggling, still trying to figure it out, because that's what it might take that long, But I told anybody, the only thing that stops you from being able to get anything you want in your life is just quitting. All I literally did was say I wanted to be the best producer, that I wanted to be, one of the greatest producers, songwriters ever lived, and I just kept walking and praying, trying to deflect anything that got in my way.
You have reached this point. It's also important to know that there were struggles along the way.
Right.
Things didn't just happen, and you had to endure certain, setbacks or just disappointments.
Yes.
Can you share some of those things with us?
I think that all throughout, this journey, it has not been easy. And I tell a lot of kids that because I could sit there and talk to them and tell them I was in the same seats that they were, having the same dreams. And it just was a belief that I knew I could make it. That was it. And just going forward. But I mean, from, dealing with all of the people who tried to distract me from even staying in music, to even coming home from being out here one Christmas and coming back home in LA to a house that was completely ransacked and robbed, where I felt like maybe that was the end of my career, and telling myself and praying and getting help from my parents to say, you know what, this is probably the start that that's gonna, or it's probably the continuation if I keep going to allow myself to get to the next level. Because I remember that moment thinking to myself, is this it? You know, having 8 years of music gone and all my equipment, $30,000-$40,000 of equipment just like that vanished. And then you look at, you look internally and think to yourself, is this it? You know, and that restarted my career. And that was the time when I got with my business partner, Dow Jones, and we took our talents and we brought them together and we created the business. And had not been for me going and pretty much going forward on my my journey and my craft, that I wouldn't be here today. So there's always going to be those times where you're gonna have moments where it's gonna tell you, are you really gonna work hard enough for it? Are you really gonna push strong and have enough tenacity to get what you want out of life? Because that's all it takes, is just not quitting,
Just not quitting. And it's unfortunate that and all sorts of powers that be are trying to remove the arts from schools.
Yes.
Now, if that isn't a deterrent, then I don't know what else is.
Right.
So a message that we want to send today is, this is a great example of why not to remove the arts from school.
Definitely.
It's such an imposing factor in the lives of some kids that they will never get an education in the arts except that it's in school.
Exactly.
So we cannot remove the arts from
Definitely
schools.
cannot. Yeah.
As a city, we often measure ourselves in numbers. Low crime rates, acres of parks, miles of streets, and so on. We would be remiss, however, if we also didn't consider the quality of the individuals who live in our community and are raised here. We may be a city of almost 90,000 people, but Federal Way is still a small town at its heart. And we are proud tonight. We are extremely proud to welcome back and celebrate the achievements of Justin Henderson, a proud son of Federal Way.
First, I'd like to say thank you to the city of Federal Way. Thank you to the council members. Thank you to my family and all of those that I am standing on their shoulders. It's an honor to be here. It's been a long journey, especially these last 10 days. When I actually got the word from one of my team members, Miss Ishan Everett, who was so inspirational and so much a part of this day as I am, who helped me. And I really just wanted to let the city know that this is just the first annual. And we sat there as we looked over everything we did last week, this past Sunday, and I said, you know what? Maybe in 5 years, let's make this a goal. And I'll tell you one thing, the journey of my success was the fact that I kept my eyes on the prize and I set my goal high and I believed in God and had faith and kept walking towards those goals and never believed that it was never gonna happen. And so I said, from 5 years from now, I would love to be able to be a part of a situation that would bring a Justin Henderson Performing Arts Center to the city of Federal Way. So that's just one of the goals that we are trying to see if we can make happen within the next 5 years, among all the other things that we want to do to bring a lot more motivation and positive spirit to our city and to our school district. So I thank you all, and this is just the start. So thank you once again. All right.
We've heard about your project, but what's going on with the business today?
We are at a point now where we're getting a lot of calls from working with everybody from the Rihannas of the world to the Brandies to the new artists to developing new acts. We're actually in talks with doing a great deal with Motown Records, and we're pretty much taking our brand to another level, because a lot of people have heard our music and there are very knowledgeable of some of the things that we've done, but now it's time to see the faces. So
And we are so proud of our native son, but we can't talk about it all here. So tell us, where do we find out more about the business
Well, you can always reach us on our website. That's thebusiness.com, THABIZNESS.com, as well as contacting us via Twitter at thebusiness, same spelling. And you know, you can find out a lot more about Henny Week in the years to come, and you can contact us hennyweek@gmail.com, as well as facebook.com/HennyDay, HENNYDAY 2012. And you know, we're out there, we're viral, we're on a lot of different social media sites, and you know, use the power of Google. We're right there to be contacted. So that's that's where we're at.
Okay, well, you heard it here, and it's all a pleasure having you in
Thank
the
you.
studio. Thanks for coming in. All the best.
I went to Decatur. I ended up graduating Decatur and going to college in Atlanta. But what helped me is having the education to be able to do what I wanted to do. And that's what I wanted to tell you guys, because you guys all have these dreams, from playing in the NBA, to being a vet, to going into the military, to being a graphic designer, to being a baseball player. Whatever you guys want to do, it's all possible. I was sitting there just like you, just like you, just like you, having the same dreams you guys have. And look at me now, and I'm doing the greatest thing that I wanted to do in my life. So I wanted to tell you guys that the dream is possible, and all you got to do is keep believing in that. Don't let that go. Don't let that dream go.
Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone, 'cause right now it says that I can't come to the phone. And I know it makes no sense, 'cause you walked out the door, but it's the only way I hear your voice anymore.